Welcome to Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day. Yeah, this breakout hit for Kiss off of Alive. I'm doing the Alive version. Just a great song. Ace has some pretty cool licks. Even one lick he does towards the end. Really cool. So we're going to go over all the parts. I've written out my notes. They'll be available below the video there. And we'll go through each part. We're going to go through the two solos, the middle solo and the solo at the end. And we'll talk about everything that they're doing. So the first thing you want to do is tune your guitar down to E flat. So every string is flat. So E flat, A flat, D flat, and so forth. All right, we'll get into the lesson next. So the intro to the song consists of half measure. I'm going to call it the intro lick. It's a chord lick, but I'm going to call it the intro lick. And then the second half of the measure is like part of the verse when he goes up to E. So to start it off with, and this will be what I consider the intro lick, what we're doing is referencing a D chord. All right, we're just going to play the bottom half, the 4th through the 2nd string, and we'll be hammering on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, 9th fret of the 4th string. All right, so we're going to start out with 2 hammer-ons, then once without, then once down, and then again with it down pulled off. All right, so slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then we go into the second half. So learn that first part because again they use that between some of the different parts of the song, and I'll talk to that as we get to it. So for the second half of the measure, the intro will go like this. And then we're into the verse at that point, at that A chord. All right, so what we're doing there, we're hitting an A power chord. Then we're going to come up and all right, now we'll be at the 9th fret. The big difference here is he's hammering on to 10 and 11 on the 2nd and 3rd string one time, and then hammering on to the 2nd and 4th string the 2nd time. So I remember years ago, I think I did this lesson on Vanderbilt and obviously played it wrong because I didn't know that till I gave it a new ear. So what we're going to do is this. All right, so we're hammering down 3 and the 2nd string and 3rd string, and then the 2nd string and 4th string. So I'm kind of exaggerating there, but let's go from the A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. All right, so that is the intro, if you will, before they start the verse. One other little note, after you do the 2 hammer-ons up here at E, we're going to hit the E twice and then the hammer-ons. There's a slight 6th string palm muted before the A. Okay, it's very slight, but it's in there and it really adds to the effect and gives you time to get back to the A. Okay, so just a little bit of minutia there. So now we're into the first verse, and we'll go over that. All right, so for the first verse, and actually second verse, what we're going to do is come up just like we did in the intro with the A. We'll start on A to our E with our hammer-ons. We're going to do that twice, and then we'll go into a D with the hammer-ons, just like we did at E, and to an E again with hammer-ons. So you'll see how this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. so after that intro for the first verse, we're into the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus is basically going from an F to a G chord, and we're going to use our pinky with it, all right? So with the F chord, we'll be at the 8th fret of the 5th string, 9th fret of the 4th string, and our pinky will hit 12 when we need it. So for the pinky, we're going to hit 10 twice, 8 and 10, to 12, back to 10 3 times, and then 12. Then go right up to the G chord. All right, so it'll sound like this. So the second G is just like the F. We're going to hit that pinky after 2 times on the G, and then 3 times before we go up to the pinky, and twice, and then release. Alright, so I'm sorry if that's a little confusing. Just follow me right now. We'll do it slow. I'll count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that is the pre-chorus. Now we're into the chorus. The chorus, we're going to do this a total of 2 times. The 3rd A chord we just kind of let ring out, and it'll slowly or quietly fade. But the first half measure, let's go from an A chord. So what we're doing is when we get to the D, so it's A, we're going to go to a D, use our pinky up here at 9. We'll be hitting 5 and 7 on the 5th and 4th string respectively. We're going to do 2 hits on 7, 1 up to 9, back to 2 hits on 7. Then we're going to move up to the 9th position, our E chord. We'll be hammering on to 11, and this is more of a traditional straight 1, 2, we'll add our pinky, and then 1, 2, 3, pinky back. So it'll sound like this. Alright, and then back to an A chord. So all together, the chorus, first half measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, repeat that again once with the D and E chord, and then we just hold the A. And then we're into the drum break chorus singing. Okay, so they don't play any guitars doing that part. Then we'll do our intro lick, and we're into verse 2, which is just like verse 1. Matter of fact, I didn't write it out, I just put verse 2 there. Then we're into chorus number 2, or pre-chorus number 2, just like we learned, and then chorus number 2, again, just like we learned. With that chorus, we got our drum break, the chorus singing, then our intro lick, and then we're into the lead. Alright, so I'm going to go over the lead rhythm next. I'll show you the leads and those things after we get through all the rhythm. Okay, so we're to the solo rhythm. So I want to mention, you know, these two guys are playing off of each other, Kiss, with Ace and Paul. Paul's pretty much just playing the chords that we're hearing. He's not playing the suspendeds. So he's just doing A, E, and then D, E. And that's what he does for the solo rhythm. All right, we're going to do those chords, our intro lick, and repeat that. So it'll be A, E again, and then D, E. Now I believe, you know, picture Paul jumping around and everything. Instead of going to this E, which is very bassy, I think he's going to a 4th root E. So we'll be on the 4th string, 2nd fret, 3rd string at the 4th fret, and you can add your pinky to the second string at the 5th fret. Alright, so our A and E will sound like this, a solo rhythm. Then we're going to move to D and then that E with the 4th root. So that is the solo rhythm. So what I want to touch on, that fine chorus that comes in after the solo rhythm, we're going to go up to the F and G. Ace does a lick. That I'll show you in a little bit, but that's where that comes in. So right after the solo, they go into the pre-chorus, but Ace does another little chord solo with the pre-chorus. Then we're into the 3rd chorus, okay, another break with the drums and singing the chorus. We'll do the intro lick, another pre-chorus, and then we're into the ending with the outro lick, all right? So I'm going to go over the actual solos next. We know the intro lick, and you'll have the whole songs. Okay, so the solo we come into from an intro chord lick. Alright, so that's the first half of the solo. What he does after the intro lick, getting back here, I think he just hit, I don't hear that 7. He just hits the 2 5s on the 2nd and 1st string before he hits the 2nd 2 1st string. Then we start with the bend of 7 on the 3rd string to 5 on the 2nd, 5 on the 1st. That'll be 7 times. Alright, so what we have to this point, 1, 2, 3, 4. At that point, he pulls off on the 1st string 8 to 5, hits the 2nd string at 5, back to the 1st string at 5. Then we're going to hit 8 on the 2nd string, pulled off to 5, and hit 5 again. To 7 on the 3rd string. Then we're going to go 5th fret of the 3rd string, hammer down to 7, pull back off to 5. Landing on 7 on the 4th, back to 5 on the 3rd. Alright, so from the 1st string pull off, 8 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to hear another bend. This will be at 7 on the 3rd and 2nd string. So it's a bend and release. And then we're going to hit 5, hammer down to 7, back to 5 on that 3rd string again, landing on 4th string at 7. Alright. Then we're going to hit 5 and 7, both on the 3rd and 2nd string. So it'll go 5, 7, 5, and then 7 again with the bend and release. And then another hammer on and pull off from 5 to 7 on the 3rd string, back to 5, landing on 4 on the 4th, and then we go to 7 with our final bend. Alright, so I know that's a lot of numbers. Let's start from the 7 bend, and then 5, 7, 5, and then the 5s and 7 unisons. Alright, so we'll have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's kind of slid up. And then you'll hear. Alright, so that's the first half of the solo. It's really not too difficult. If you follow my notes, maybe slow it down with riff station or whatever you have to slow the song down, you'll be able to, you know, pick it up and get it under your fingers and in your brain and play along. It's really fun to do. It's tasty solo. So we'll go into the second half of the solo next. Okay, so the second half of the solo moves up to the 17th position. Alright, so we're going to do a unison bend on the 3rd string and 2nd string. 3rd string at 19, bend up, hitting 17 at the same time, and then we'll hit 17 on the 2nd string again to 17 on the 1st string. Alright, then we do it, unison bend, and just hit the 1st string. So, let me play the 2nd solo for you so you can see it. Alright, so that's with the camera and everything, but we're bending, like I said, the 3rd string at 19 and catching 17, then hitting 17 on the 2nd, 17 on the 1st. Then we do the unison bend and just hit 17 on the 1st. Alright, that happens 3 times. Then we're going to do a pull off from 20 to 17 landing, that's on the 2nd string, on 19 on the 3rd string. Then we come back to 17 on the 2nd string, and we'll pull off 20 to 17 twice before landing on 19 on the 3rd. Then we go 17, 20. And then what we're going to do is 17 hammered on to 20, pulled back off to 17, hitting 19 twice. Alright, so what we have so far, I'm going to take it from the last unison bend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go 17 on the 2nd string to 19 on the 3rd, back to 17. Then we're going to catch 20 on the 1st string. The bend and release, and then 20 with 2 bends and release. Then we come back to our 17 hammered on to 20, pulled off to 17 on the 2nd, landing on 19 on the 3rd, back to 17 on the 2nd. Then we come back to 19 on the 3rd, this will end the solo, bend that out, catch 20 on the 1st string. And then we do a 19 on that 3rd string, bend and release to 17, ending on the 4th string at 19. And a slide down. Alright, so let's take the whole damn thing. Alright, excuse my French. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that is the solo. It's just great. Like I said, slow it down a little bit how you can and play along, and once you get it in your head, it's really, really fun to play with. So for the final pre-chorus, the pre-chorus is basically going from F to G, and Ace is doing F to G licks. Alright, we're just using what would be the 6th root F or the 1st root F. Alright, so picture an F chord, we're only playing the top 3 strings. Alright, we're just going to hammer into that. And then play back and forth. So this is the lick, and then I'll slow it down for you. Alright, so what he's doing is we're going to trill. We'll be playing the 3rd and 2nd string at 13. We're going to trill just a couple times the first time through at the 14th fret, ending on 15 on the 4th string. Then we just lay our finger down and catch the 3rd and 2nd string at 15, back to the 4th fret of the 15th fret of the 4th string. Alright, so we have this so far. Then we do that trill again, just a little bit longer, almost 4 times. And then the 15 on the 4th string. Then we change positions. Alright, so up to that point we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we move to basically a G chord. Alright, and we're going to do the same trill, just real quick again. 15 on the 3rd and 2nd string to 16. The 17 on the 4th, 17 on the 3rd and 2nd, back to 17 on the 4th. Then you got to grab the 3rd string at 17. You're going to slide up to 19, catch 19 on the 1st string, and then come back and hit the 3rd string at 17 and the 1st string at 17. Alright, so we have this so far. Let's go from the trill and the G. And then we just end with a hammer on that 15th fret of the 3rd and 2nd string to 16 on the 3rd. Alright. So all together, let's do this slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that is the pre-chorus lick. It's in there, and it's once you play it and play along with it, it'll be like, man, that sounds so cool. Alright, we got the ending solo next, which again is another great lick, and we'll finish out. And I'm even going to show you what Gene does during the end of the solo, because it's just a little bit different. After that, we're going to go into the chorus, drum break, chorus singing, the intro lick. Then we go into the ending pre-chorus. Alright, so then you'll hear the ending lick. Alright, the ending lick, like I said, I wanted to go over Gene's part because I was like, what does Paul do? He just has to pause, waiting for, you know. And then you hear da-da-da-da-da, and I'm sure Paul's just sitting there to hit the A chord. But anyhow, I found Gene's bass part really interesting, and I think it would add, if he had a second guitar, a neat little thing to do. So you'll hear Gene do this. Alright, so for Gene's part, what we do is the 5th fret of the 5th string with the bend and release, and then 3, 5, 3, and then we go to the 6th string. It'll be 5, 3, 5, 3 to open. And then an A chord, A note. You can hit the A up here if you want. True choice. But again, I think Gene's ending that goes along with 8th solo is just great. Alright. Alright, so that's Gene's little part, and we'll go over Ace's final solo and you'll have the song. So the final solo sound like this. Alright, so what Ace is doing there is we're going to bend up on the 3rd and 2nd string at 17 and release. Then go 5 on the 3rd and 2nd, back to 7 on the 3rd and 2nd string. Then we're going to hit 5 on the 3rd string, hammer onto 7, pull back off to 5, landing on 7 on the 4th string, back to 5, 7. Alright, so that, we've got half a measure there. Then we go up, and he kind of adds a little bit of harmonics, pinch harmonics. It's just slight, but if you want to pinch the pick between your finger and catch that note with the meat of your thumb, you're going to do 5, 7, 5 like we talked about, and then a hammer on from 5 to 7, 5, landing on 7 on the 5th string and sliding down, and then an A. Alright, so all together slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the song. So I really hope this helps everybody. Like I said, my notes are available down below for downloading. Enjoy.